I'd like to begin by introducing myself. So I'm a master's health coach, and I do run a startup along with Ankita called Happy to Be Healthy, where we primarily do nutrition-based workshops for both adults, seniors, and also for children. And we are associated with the Cupertino School District in the area. To begin talking about why we are here today is we are going to talk about food and its relationship to our overall health. We do our best every day to be healthy in our own way. And we need to pay closer attention to what we eat because it's directly related to how we feel, and it also helps with our immunity overall, as you've heard a little bit from the other presenters. These are difficult and uncertain times, and we can cure COVID, but what we could do is we could take preventive steps to limit its exposure and hopefully to recover from the disease if we are already suffering from it, which many of us might be. So while there's no cure, there are some steps that we can take, and these are the 4 Ps that we propagate in order to prevent this illness. The first one is to preload, which is basically feeding your body the right fuel to equip it with the right immunity. The second one is to prepare. We need to hope for the best, but be prepared for the worst. That includes, stocking up on your pantry essentials. Prepare, don't hoard. And the other one would be protect, as most of us know that COVID is spread through droplets that remain in the air for a few hours. And, you see this little emoji out here with a mask on. CDC's current guidelines are they're recommending us to wear a mask, when we step out. It's more for, I guess, the people who actually have the disease than the ones who are afraid of getting it, because it kind of, contains the germs and you don't spread it. So in any case, it's not a bad idea to protect your face with a bandana or cloth or whatever you do have, if you're just walking out and you need to get out of the house. So make sure you protect your face and cover your nose. Lastly, the P is for panic, which we must not do, because when you panic, you dial down your immune system, and that depresses your immunity. And we all know that when we are in a state of panic, we don't make wise decisions. So it's very important to stay calm and keep going. All right, next slide. So let's pause and think about the little and big things that, we are truly grateful for, especially during this pandemic. Being at home for the last month has made me think about a lot of things that I'm grateful for, which I never have time to think about in our daily race of getting things done in life. I'm grateful for, of course, the first responders, who in this country are, so sacrificial. I'm grateful for technology that allows us to keep us going. We're grateful for, of course, our family, the love and support of our friends. So there are so many things in life to be grateful for. So I think it's really important to reflect back now that we have the time to do that and practice some gratitude. And on that note, I'd like to share a letter that comes from a COVID patient who experienced this illness in China. And I'm going to read aloud the letter. This is from a Chinese teacher, and this is what she says. As the world begins their time inside and you realize that you have no control over the situation, let go of any thoughts of trying to plan for too much for the next month or two, as things change so fast. Don't be annoyed and angry at the system, which will only help you get your anxiety down. You make the best of the situation, whatever that might be for you. Accept that this is what it is, and things will definitely get easier. Appreciate this enforced downtime. You learn to appreciate the little things, like sunshine through the windows, flowers blossoming, spending time with your family. To those beginning this journey, you will get through it. Listen to what you are told, follow the rules, look out for each other, and there is light at the end of the tunnel. So that's what she had to say. So we must always continue to be hopeful, because that's the only way out. All right, next slide. Okay, so you would see a bunch of things out here. So we believe in the 4 pillars of health, and we advocate our philosophy through lean. And I'd like to share that, healthy is not just about what we eat or how much we exercise. Healthy is actually, being healthy is a combination of a couple of things like lifestyle, exercise, attitude, and our nourishment that we get through nutrition, how these combine together to positively or negatively affect our behavior, our energy levels, our ability to learn, and so much more. Coming to lifestyle, lifestyle is basically how we live our life. Unfortunately, today we have to practice physical distancing where we are not allowed to mingle with friends and family, but that doesn't have to weigh us down. There are other ways to keep up with your connections, and we could still have a good, connected life by phone calls, text messages, and things like that. So, we can define in our own way how we would like to live our lives. An important tip that I'd like to share with you that you might want to try, since we're all trying to build our immunity here, is to when you get up in the morning, have a glass of warm water and squeeze a whole lemon in it, because lemon is obviously very high in vitamin C. It has high pH levels, and we know that COVID has pH levels between 5.5 and 8.5. So when you take foods that have higher pH levels, they boost your immunity. So try that, a glass of warm water with some lime. I will move on to exercise. Exercise is so important because it helps improve our quality of life. It helps us lead a longer life, a fuller life. And just because we're sheltering in place, that doesn't mean we cannot exercise. Exercise could be done even at home. There is something called isometrics, which some of you might have heard about. It's simply holding and flexing your muscles. So you could do that even while sitting down. So it's very important to keep moving, and whatever that might be for you, but make sure you get your bouts of movement throughout the day. The tip that I'd like to share out here is whenever you get to make your tea or coffee, try doing 15 squats every time you do that. So, and see the energy level that you get after doing that. So that would be the tip for exercise. So you don't have to program a whole hour. Even if you can get your bouts and do little things, that adds up at the end of the day. Moving on to attitude. Attitude is simply, having a mindset where you see and you recognize opportunities. We'd like to term it as having a Zen attitude, where you think of life as something that is not happening to you, but that something that's happening for you. And even in adverse situations, we try to learn from them and see, how would this make us a better, more enlightened being. So that's called having a Zen attitude, where you actually turn it around and think of it as an opportunity. There are lots of things we could do to keep that positive set of, thoughts. I'd like to make a playlist where I put in different melodies, and that is always a mood enhancer for me. So you might want to try that. Just create your favorite song playlist and see how that works. It definitely lifts me up on days that I'm down. The last bit of the lean piece would be nutrition. Now, nutrition is a very important factor in our overall well-being. And you might be thinking that, oh, do I have to eat any special kinds of foods in order to stay healthy? And, what's the secret? There really isn't one. There are no special foods, but we do encourage you to have a diet with real foods, which is whole grains, legumes, beans, fish, lots of colorful fruits and vegetables, nuts. And one important thing I'd like to make a mention of in nutrition is to get enough protein. Especially as we age, we need protein for the repair and recovery of our cells. And as we age, there is a risk of sarcopenia, which is basically a loss of muscle mass, strength, and function. And you want to make sure that you have adequate protein so that your cells have enough time to repair and recover themselves. And I would think about 15 to 25% of your your daily calorie intake should come from proteins. And in order to get that in during your day, you might want to try maybe a spoonful of flax meal powder in your smoothies or in your daily chapatis, or even having a handful of nuts if that's just something easier for you to grab. How we live our life, is dictated by a combination of all these four foundations, which are lifestyle, exercise, attitude, and nutrition, and they combine well to keep us going forward and keep us going for long. Next slide. So this is just a quick one on boosting our immunity, since we were talking about food and our health. So I just want to give this away. Top 3 fruits overall, if something that comes to your mind, it would be, for me, based on research, we have papaya, because it's very good for digestion, and it's loaded with vitamins and minerals. The other fruit would be avocado, which are high in omega-3s, very good for your heart health and also your vision, helps with the risk of depression. And the third fruit would be guava. Those are the top 3 fruits. Guava is also very rich in manganese and potassium. That potassium is a good source of regulating blood pressure. What are the best expectorants for a cough? Natural expectorants would be radish. Radish is very rich in vitamin A and C, and is also known to have anti-congestive properties that clear your mucus from your respiratory tract and your nose. Who would know that radish was good? And the things, what fights infection and is a natural antibiotic is garlic. Garlic is very potent in its medicinal properties, and it is, it helps with, it helps protect you from pathogens that invade your body, and it's a very good antibacterial agent. So that would be garlic. And I would just wrap up with those. Those are just foods for thought, for you. So, there are no superfoods that would help protect against COVID. There's no evidence on that, but we can certainly be mindful of what we're eating to make sure that we, keep our immunity strong during this time. Thank you. So be well and be positive, everyone.